Welcome to Sunshine Cathedral's Queer God Squad. It's Wednesday, February the 5th, 2025. I'm Bishop Darrell Watkins, the senior minister here at Sunshine Cathedral. With me today is Sunshine Cathedral's executive minister. He's also my husband, Bishop Robert Griffin. Sunshine Cathedral's Minister of Connections, Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell, and Sunshine Cathedral's Minister of Education, Reverend Kevin Tisdall. Visit sunshinecathedral.org to learn more about our progressive faith community and how you can be a part of it, no matter where you live in the world. And if you live in South Florida, be sure to check out the Sunshine Cathedral Center for the Performing Arts, offering entertainment for the LGBTQ+ community to benefit the LGBTQ+ community. To learn more about Sunshine Cathedral, make prayer requests, or make donations, go to sunshinecathedral.org. Queer God Squad was created by Hotspots Happening Out to support our mission to explore the value of faith in the LGBTQ community. In 2025, we are celebrating the 40th anniversary of Hotspots Magazine, the 25th anniversary of Queer News Tonight, and we produced the 25th anniversary of the Stonewall Pride Parade and Festival on June 14th. We are the largest nonprofit LGBTQ media organization in America, and we encourage you to support our mission to inform, entertain, and educate our community and allies. If you enjoy the Queer God Squad, please share this or other episodes with your friends, family, and social media communities.
This is the Sunshine Cathedral Perspective. Archbishop Carl Bean, the gay gospel singer who started a black gay church. Carl Bean was born in 1944 in Baltimore, Maryland. As a youth, Carl spent summers at Virginia Union College, where he was mentored by Reverend Dr. Samuel DeWitt Proctor. Bean's world collapsed when a friend from Providence Baptist outed him. At age 14, Carl was confronted and condemned by church leaders and family, leading to a suicide attempt and a lengthy forced hospitalization. Carl started performing in the music world. He moved to New York City at the age of 16 to pursue a career in gospel music. Bean joined Christian Tabernacle, a spiritualist church in Harlem, and sang with the Gospel Souls. He was part of the initial creation of Langston Hughes Black Nativity. He began touring and singing in prominent churches and theaters around the eastern U.S. Bean participated in a series of workshops that led to the opening of Don't Bother Me, I Can't Cope on Broadway in 1972. Despite his success in music and theater, he felt a call to ministry. He found Troy Perry in his nascent Metropolitan Community Church that taught of God's radical love for all people. Being sang on the 1974 gospel album, Gotta Be Some Change, and was offered a MoTown recording contract to sing a song by Bunny Jones, I Was Born This Way, which also later inspired Lady Gaga's Born This Way. The experience of recording this gay anthem in 1977 affirmed his call to ministry. The song hit number 14 on the Billboard charts. He was finally able to publicly affirm being gay as a God-given gift, and being enrolled in MCC Samaritan College to study ministry. Archbishop William Morris O'Neill of the Christian Tabernacle Church ordained him in 1982. And a blessing that was given to Reverend Bean at that time was done by the former vice moderator of the Metropolitan Community Churches, the Reverend Elder Don Eastland, who 42 years later gave myself and Bishop Watkins the exact same blessing that he had given Archbishop Carl Bean. Bean began his ministry, which he called Unity Fellowship of Christ Church in South Central LA. The beginning of Bean's ministry coincided with the outbreak of AIDS. Bean responded in particular to the needs of African-American gay men with AIDS. Rooted in Liberation Theology, Archbishop Carl Bean's Unity Fellowship Church movement proclaims, God is love, and love is for everyone. The Archbishop died in 2021, but is fondly remembered by the Queer God Squad. What a man, what a man, what a man. And what a true legacy that he left behind. I think when I think about Archbishop Carl Bean and reading some things about him and getting a sense of the time of when he started his movement. After meeting Troy Perry and the MCC movement and some others around that, everything was kind of a movement back then. And so I think it just kind of probably felt natural for him to start a church or a denomination or a movement, if you will, for Black gay people, queer folks. And I think his connection in the music world, the theater world, just kind of opened all those doors for him to be able to do that. And every year, actually, Archbishop and I kind of had this thing back and forth on his birthday before he died. You know, Facebook, you wish somebody a happy birthday. And so we kind of do tit for tat for a little bit around his birthday each year, just through Facebook. And I think one of his greatest joys was being able to be present for the Black community in LA when the AIDS epidemic broke out. And one kind of back and forth, he said, you know, had it not been for me and others like me and allies, the Black male community in LA would probably not been what it was, and would probably have died a lot quicker. And so thank God for his vision, thank God for his passion, thank God for the work that he did, and may his legacy continue to live on through those who carry out the Unity Church right now.
I've never attended a service of the Unity Fellowship, but I did go to seminary with a couple of people who were part of the church in Brooklyn. And I've known of churches in Detroit and DC and Brooklyn. There were a couple in New Jersey. So I've known about them. I've met a couple of their ministers. I've met a couple of their congregants here and there. And so from conversations, I've never been, I don't know, but it seemed like they were sort of this mixture of sort of Black culture and pride about it, and charismatic worship, and liberation theology that's gay affirming, and also a little metaphysical. And so it seems like this big mix, which of course I think is always the way to go. You know, I always like a little more spice in the soup, throw in another potato or something. So, but I do know that also that a lot of the people that I met were very nice, and the ones in seminary were very scholarly. And so I got his book, his autobiography, and I decided that I wanted to interview him. And he agreed to, it was in or just out of COVID. And when we were doing a lot of interviews, sharing the chair, and he did agree, but he was already like not super well, or maybe just past the age of caring about this kind of thing. He misunderstood. He thought like I was a newspaper guy, and I was going to call him. He was going to talk to me on the phone. And I'm like, no, it's a show, and you know, he's like, oh, I can't do it. So Robert was going to help him or whatever, but and then he died shortly after that. So that was a missed opportunity that if I'd thought of that a year sooner, you know, we could have had him recorded of talking with us and giving his story in his own voice. But his autobiography is worth a read. He did have early connections to Metropolitan Community Churches. He was the MCC Ministry School is how he trained for ministry. He knew and was friends with Troy Perry, the MCC founder. And the number 2 person back in those days in MCC was part of his consecration as a bishop. And as Bishop Robert said, we got to experience the exact same thing when we had our ceremony here at Sunshine Cathedral. So we have fond feelings for him, and he certainly did a good work. And his churches are still around. So if you're looking for such a church as we just described, they're usually in urban areas. There's less than 20, I think, but they're significant churches where they are. And so look one up, and maybe you even have stuff online. But it's a fascinating story, and it really came at a good time, because in those AIDS years, we needed every safe and loving and compassionate place that could be found. And thank God Carl Bean offered some more of those.
I got lucky. I got to go to a conference that the church was having in DC one time. And I remember the church service. Oh my goodness.
Was it fun?
It was one of the most visually overwhelming services that I've ever been to. Think of The Lion King. Think about how people were dressed for that. And you would see this Unity conference where people were dressed in their best African garb.
So it was Afrocentric.
It was definitely Afrocentric. And you know, they processed into the church, and my goodness, the music, it resounded, it was powerful, and his message. I got to hear the man preach. I didn't know then how lucky I was to hear someone who was so rooted in so many different faiths, who had gone through the fire and come out and was able to create a fellowship, a unity fellowship that exists because of his dynamic presence. And I tell you, I charismatic, yeah. Definitely charismatic. Powerful message. And preachers, why can't all of you give positive messages? His message was one of empowerment. And this was during the AIDS epidemic, when it was at near its peak. So he was speaking to, as you said, a group of people who were impacted by AIDS and didn't have a lot of places that they could go. So God bless you, Bishop, and your memory will live on forever.
I do remember, I mean, they were ordaining women at the time, but I do recall, and if you remember just a little bit of history, when he made the first female bishop, Bishop Tanya Rawls, who lives in North Carolina.
I forgot she was from that church.
She's from that church.
We know her, but I forgot she came from that.
She came from that tradition. And I remember the controversy when he made her the first bishop. And so to this day, I still honor Bishop Tanya Rawls as being one of the first bishops under Carl Bean, laying hands on her. She's since moved on. I think she's done some of the HIV/AIDS work now, but she went on to do some different organizational work.
She's still on the internet. I mean,
She's
she's still on social.
I just saw her the other day.
Got stuff to say.
But I just remember that part of history, like she was the first bishop.
She was the first woman bishop in the Unity Fellowship.
And
I don't think I knew that.
And that was a lot of turmoil when that happened, but she survived.
Why? Why is it always that when the new group that's been excluded, they finally get to show up and get to be part of it? Why is it always a controversy?
Yeah.
Why is it always, oh, well, we've never done women before. Oh, we've never liked gay people before. Oh, trans, what is that about? Why can't we just be like, oh, look, more people, more ways of being human, yay? But it's always a controversy.
Yeah, but Bishop Bean wasn't having it. Nope, this is going to happen, and he made it happen. So kudos for being even a trailblazer with making that happen in his denomination.
Well, then he was a prophet in the proper sense, a truth teller and a waymaker.
Yeah.
You know, I love listening to your stories. I truly do.
I love that you're old and know so many stories.
You all are younger than me. You all are younger.
True, yeah.
But I love listening to your stories. And when people wonder what makes Sunshine Cathedral so special, it's the background. It's that you knew and heard Archbishop Carl Bean preach. You knew the man. I mean, you had a chance to talk with him. That's really incredible to hear these stories and then know that you were there, that you met him, that you knew him, had conversations with him, but then you bring it into who we are.
Yes.
And that's what makes us, one of the things that makes us so very special.
I think so.
Indeed.
Yay.
Indeed.
Well, that's today with the Queer God Squad.
Before we go, we want to invite you to join Sunshine Cathedral on a wonderful travel experience and help our mission for our community. Join us on the Florida AIDS Walk Pride Cruise. This unique 3-day cruise will sail from Miami on the $1 billion and ultra-deluxe 170,000-ton MSC Seascape on November 2nd, 2025. The cruise is for the Florida AIDS Walk. Your participation helps 13 vital beneficiaries in our community. The cruise is an incredible value starting at just $199 and is also a fundraiser for the Sunshine Cathedral. Parties, special events, and more abound aboard, including a special unlimited beverage and open bar with Wi-Fi for all 3 days for just $68. We invite you to join us on this amazing cruise for fun, this vital cruise for good.
We want to thank you for joining us. We are here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBT community is talking about. Sunshine Cathedral is the world's leading progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together.
We all are in this together. Remember that.
You are God's miracle, not God's mistake. Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad. Goodbye.